If you just picked up a brand new 2024 Player's Handbook for D&D, then congratulations! Also, I have some bad news. A few parts are out of date. Not to worry, that's what errata is for. They released some errata a few months ago, and they've just released new errata, so I'm going to show you all of the places in your Player's Handbook you can update the text to make sure that your PHB is current. On D&D Beyond, of course, they've updated everything, but we have to do it manually in the books because they're not going to send Justice Armand and Mackenzie de Armas to your house to fix your book. So let's take a look at what's fixed. On page 192, under Goliath traits, the powerful build trait, you have advantage on any saving throw, has been changed to you have advantage on any ability check. On page 204, under Grappler, under the Fast Wrestler benefit, your speed isn't halved when you moved, is now you don't have to spend extra movement to move. On page 206, Poisoner, in the Brew Poison benefits fourth sentence, until you hit the poisoned item, is now until you deal damage with the poisoned item. On page 208, Telekinetic. In the minor telekinesis benefits second sentence, its range increases by 30 feet, is now its range and distance it can be away from you both increase by 30 feet. Chapter 6, the Armor table on page 219. In the subheading for the Shield category, Shield is now Shield utilize action to don or doff. The number of changes to spells in Chapter 7. On page 240, under Animal Shapes, the spell's last paragraph now reads, the target gains a number of temporary hit points equal to the hit points for the first form into which it shapeshifts. These temporary hit points vanish if any remain when the spell ends. The transformation lasts for the duration or until the target ends it as a bonus action. Page 254, under Conjure Elemental, in the Using a Higher Level Spell Slot subsection, 2d8 is now 1d8. There are a few of these that got nerfed. Page 255, under Conjure Fey, in the Using a Higher Spell Slot section, 2d12 is now 1d12. In Conjure Minor Elementals on page 254, in the Using a Higher Level Spell Slot subsection, 2d8 is now 1d8. Conjure Woodland Beings, you know what I'm about to say, in the Using a Higher Level Spell Slot subsection, level above 5 is now level above 4. Giant Insect on page 279, in the Hit Points section, 10 for each spell level is now 10 for each spell level above 4. Some changes to polymorph and shifting on page 306 in the polymorph spell. In the second paragraph of the spell's description, the following sentence has been added after the first. These temporary hit points vanish if any remain when the spell ends. Under shape change on page 315, the second paragraph of the spell's description has been replaced with, when you cast the spell, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the hit points for the first form into which you shapeshift. These temporary hit points vanish if any remain when the spell ends. Finally, on page 335, under True Polymorph, the second paragraph, under the Creature and a Creature section, the second sentence has been replaced with, these temporary hit points vanish if any remain when the spell ends. And in the Rules Glossary under Appendix C, on page 367 under Grappling, in the Grappling entry, the heading Escaping a Grapple is now Ending a Grapple. Also, the following sentence has been added to the end of that subsection. In addition, the grappler can release the target at no time with no action, or at any time with no action required. The hide action on page 368 in the second paragraph, you have the invisible condition, is now you have the invisible condition while hidden. In the third paragraph, the condition ends on you is now you stop being hidden. Well, that's a whole bunch of errata for the 2024 Player's Handbook. There's also errata for the Monster Manual and the Dungeon Master's Guide, which I'm not going to cover in this video. But thanks for watching. Go fix your book so that you can have the latest and greatest edition of 5th edition, which is now 5.5.3, I believe. Anyway, I'm GM Jim. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.